half of the dollars in 248 years were printed in the last two. In theory, right, if they increased double the supply of money, the value of that money should have gone down in half. Bitcoin price is up exactly 100%. Exactly the amount it should be over the 2-year period. It's a perfect deflationary asset. And look, there are only 3 rules to managing money. You know, my hero in the business from your backyard up in New York, near Neuberger Berman, Roy Neuberger, went in the office every day till he was 94. He managed his own money to his 101 and finally passed at 107. That's a hell of a ride. That's a good life.
Yeah.
And he said there are 3 rules to managing money. Rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't lose money. Rule number 3, don't forget the first 2 rules. And it's so critically important. And I think as we talk to particularly young people in this space, in the crypto space, I think they didn't get that lesson. So many people came in, they got levered, they got wrecked, and now they're like, I shouldn't rat out my brother, but my brother called me up a while back and he said, they stole my Bitcoin. I said, what are you talking about? He says, well, I was at Bitfinex. I'm like, well, stop right there. You levered up your Bitcoin, okay? Price fell, you got a margin call and you couldn't make the margin call, so they repossessed the collateral. No one stole your Bitcoin. You did something stupid. You can't learn from other people's mistakes. You have to make the mistakes yourself. You have 100%. To feel the pain in your gut of staying too long, right? You make money and you don't take your profits, or something goes down and you want to show that you're right and the market's wrong. By the way, the market is never wrong. People are so obsessed with being right. Mm-hmm. Well, in investing, if you have that attitude that you have to be right, you will get wrecked. And we all kind of came to the same conclusion that all the young guys and gals with black t-shirts are really pretty smart, and that this is the greatest wealth creation opportunity we'll see in our lifetime. And so now I spend all my time investing in the infrastructure of digital assets and the liquid protocols. One of the benefits of being old, it means you survived all the near-death experiences up to that point. And I love it. And I love the fact that when you're young, you have energy, enthusiasm, passion. As you get older, hopefully you keep some of that, but the key is that you get some wisdom.
Yes.
And the wisdom is just from making mistakes that you don't die from. And that's actually a really good thing. But here's the problem. As great as PayPal is, as great as other payments is, they're using 70-year-old technology, right? ACH and FedWire are electronic money, but they're bad. They're slow. They're written in COBOL and Fortran and C++, and they're just ancient. So now we have this new innovation. So we had the MobileNet in 2010, the TrustNet, or what I'm renaming the TruthNet, because what blockchain does is it replaces trust with truth. Over the past 2 years, right, which is the only meaningful period of time if you think about long term, over 2 years, the money supply of dollars went up 100%. They printed 50% of all the money in the history of our republic. That's 248 years. Half of the dollars in 248 years were printed in the last 2. In theory, right, if they increased double the supply of money, the value of that money should have gone down in half. Bitcoin price is up exactly 100%. Exactly the amount it should be over the 2-year period. It's a perfect deflationary asset. And over the 14 years, right, it's perfect. It's the best performing asset of all assets over 14 years, over 10 years, over 5 years, over 3 years, over 2 years. Not over the last 6 months, because in the last 6 months, we had a problem. 6 months ago, or 8 months ago now, we had people lever up too much, and that put upward pressure on the price. But the price got to stupid levels, just like stock prices got stupid levels. And that's why Peloton stock's down and Zoom stock's down. It's not that Zoom's not a good company. We're using it right now. Just the price got to a level that made no sense, right? You can't have a company sell at 100 times revenues. In the digital world today, this opportunity to invest in the infrastructure, in the picks and shovels, but also in the protocols themselves, I really do think is the biggest wealth creation opportunity we're ever going to see. One of the great things about life in general is all of us focus on answers. Answers are not the thing. Questions are the thing. If you're a good question, that's the real superpower, because answers are everywhere, right? And part of the problem is most of us accept information that comes at us as fact, right? We don't actually stop and think, does that make sense to me? Can I verify it? Can I corroborate it? So spending more time thinking about questions as opposed to memorizing answers is way more important. In fact, one of the problems with our school system is we train our kids to regurgitate answers rather than to teach them how to think. And it hit me that this 14-year cycle that I had been part of my whole life was repeating with this evolution, not revolution, but this evolution of computing power, and that blockchain was an operating system. Blockchain is an operating system, and look, most coins are scams, right? Most, but lots of them aren't. Some are going to be amazing science projects that are going to generate untold wealth. Many will fail, but that's the nature of venture capital, right? When you think about early stage venture capital, like seed stage, pre-seed stage, 96, 97, 98% fail. It's not a big deal. But the ones that don't fail, that become the Googles and the eBays and the Amazons, they create untold amounts of wealth. And so the same thing's true in crypto today. We're so early into this innovation cycle. What blockchain really does, it allows for the first time the creation of scarce assets in the digital world. And Eric Schmidt, again from Google, a lot of Google on this show, but Eric Schmidt said that best. Said, what Satoshi Nakamoto did is amazing, right? Bitcoin is amazing, but that's not the real innovation. The innovation is the ability to create a unique asset in the digital age. It is amazing when you think about it, right? We have a $500 billion, $600 billion asset today that exists with no marketing budget, no human beings. I mean, there's a lot of human beings involved in building it and coding, and we love the developers and all the support and the miners. But at the end of the day, there's no centralized organization. So people say, oh, they can ban it. How are you going to ban it? I mean, what are you going to ban?
Exactly.
Just pop up someplace else. I mean, who are you going to arrest? There's no one to arrest, And so are they going to fight us? Oh boy. And look, right now, the reason we have all this volatility and choppiness. So volatility is an indication of two things. One, disagreement about the future prospects. Okay. How much gold do you have? I don't know, 3-4%. Why? Okay. How much Bitcoin do you have? Oh, are you kidding me? 0. That's a Ponzi scheme. Haven't heard that Peter Schiff guy? How often do you use DeFi? What's DeFi? Ask anyone under 35. Who's your broker? What's a broker? You got a Robinhood account. How much gold do you have? Oh, are you kidding me? Boomer rocks? Haven't you heard that Peter Schiff guy? 0. How much Bitcoin do you have? I don't want to talk about it. Why not? Because it's like a really big part of my portfolio. I'm kind of embarrassed about it. How often do you use DeFi? Every day. So that digital divide is real. I mean, it's super real, and it's really good. And here's the reason that I'm now spending all my time, right, as an old guy in this space populated by young people. If you have 0 exposure to this asset, you're foolish, because 0 is wrong. Now, I'm not saying 100% either. The younger you are, the higher the percentage should be. But for anyone, right, including my dad, 84 years old, he has some. And because it's really important to have a portion of your wealth outside the fiat system that can't be devalued through inflation, and also have a leg in the innovation cycle that will surround the creation of the ecosystem. So first, they ignore you. So from 2009 to 2015, first they ignore you, right? Bunch of nerds and geeks and magic internet money, and no one cares. Then they laugh at you. So it's 2016 to 21, a bunch of nerds and geeks and their magic internet money, who cares? Then they fight you. So right now, 2022 to 2027, they're going to fight us. The regulators are going to fight us. The incumbents are going to fight us. The banks. Look, all the banks were paying zero interest. You put your money in the bank. It was your money. Now it's the bank's money, and they pay you zero. So some of us took it out, converted it into crypto, and deposited at a place like BlockFi or Celsius or other places, and got paid 6 to 8%. And when it was 1 billion, I'm like, whatever, bunch of nerds and geeks. 20 billion, whoa, that's real money. 100 billion, whoa, okay, time out. Now we got to stop it. Now we got to get the New Jersey regulators to come after these guys. Now we got to get the SEC to come after these guys. So we are in the then they fight you phase. And the thing is, innovation is going to happen. And the people who are incumbents either adapt or die, right? You know, Darwin was right. And this idea that you can fight through graft and corruption and all pay off the regulators to make it hard for my competitor, that works in the short run, but it does not work in the long run, because ultimately we people, we want to be able to send value instantaneously. Like, I tried to buy Bitcoin the very first time, and Bank of America, you know, my bank, said 14 days. Like, 14 days? What? You're not going to transfer my money for 14 days? They're like, yeah, didn't you read the fine print? We can do that. I'm like, well, I know you can do it, but you shouldn't, because that's supposed to be my money.
Exactly.
But they're like, well, we don't want it going to do illicit activity. I'm like, are you joking? The biggest user of illicit activities is $100 bills, right? It ain't crypto. Like, they don't keep score in kids' soccer games. Like, what are you talking about? You know, because they're like worried someone's going to lose. I'm like, that's the whole point. Winning is good. This whole movement to say, no, we're all the same and there are no winners, there are no bullshit. Losers, okay? If you lose, you learn.
Absolutely.
In investing, get richer or wiser, never both. When you make money, you do not get smarter because you don't think about it, you don't analyze it, you think it's you. When you lose, you spend time thinking about what did I do wrong, and you get wiser.